Hello, freaks and geeks, and welcome to another All Tower podcast. I am, as you know, your All Tower guide to amazing podcasts, Josh, also known as Agent Jones on Agents of Sir. Looking at the calendar, I see that on June 14th, we'll be recording Spoilercast Episode 11, which you will get in your hands on June 17th. It will be Welcome to the Beginning of the End, our dystopian episode where we'll be spoiling the new Mad Max Fury Road along with other movies about bad ends to the human race. On June 28th, dropping on July 1st, Spoilercast will be serving up Welcome to Everything Here Wants to Eat You Park. Jurassic World will be plunging back into our lives, and we'll be specking it out for you, our awesome listeners. Special guests from Flick Freaks will be joining us. Search for them on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, the Netherverse, somewhere behind Waldo as well. You can also ask those in the 13th Tribe. Also, Agents of Sir are off on their third episode and will be introducing character profiles in which Agents Critics' Choice and myself, Agent Jones, will be breaking down comic characters for you as well as getting into the MCU and DCCU. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to take a random character, go from quickly, summarize beginning to end, their motivations, their loves, their hates, how they came into being, etc., etc., etc. As always, we want to thank Spellbook Games for graciously allowing us to raid and plunder their studio to record Spoilercast. Without them, our cast would not be as awesome as it is. So a huge shout out to Spellbook and Dire Monkey. Check out their apps such as The Infinite Black for your iOS, Android, and PC today. Also, D.A. Roberts' Ragnarok Rising, The Dead Now Walk Among Us, and the badass who is Wiley Grant plans to take back Springfield, Missouri, and maybe even all of Midgard, which is Earth, to those who are not up on their Norse pantheon. Okay, nerds, enough of me jabbering on. Let's get to another podcast from All Tower Media, recorded in the dark chambers under the mountain in Spellbook Studios.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Spoilercast by All Tower Media. We're again here at the Spellbook Studios. Hi, Dire Monkey.
Hello.
How
we doing?
How's it been over here at Spellbook?
Been busy.
Yeah?
Busy working on games and stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm editing some sound effects and music tracks for the new game.
For Dire?
Yeah.
Yeah? How's that coming along?
Really good.
Yeah.
Probably a couple more weeks. I keep saying that, but it's ticking down, so hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have something to show.
We keep saying the same thing about the card game, and it is moving along. I just wish that we could get a little bit more playtest to be.
Yeah.
Give me the new cards.
They're all on the...
I'm not going to go...
They're on the computer.
I don't have a computer anymore. My computer exploded.
It exploded?
Yeah, my hard drive died.
Well, dying and exploding are two different things.
All right, so
not if you do it right.
No,
True.
For introductory purposes, because we just heard a voice we have never heard here before. Tonight we have one of my good friends, a coworker of mine, Justin. Justin, you want to go say hi?
Hola.
Hola. He's joining us this evening, and like normal, I do have the Birdman Jareth sitting down here high above his perch. Scraw, indeed. So I have a question, because tonight's topic, we're doing dragons, Dragon Age Inquisition, dragon shows, dragon...
Ball Z.
Why not?
Please no.
Stop dragging my heart around.
See what he did there? So, are there any dragons in Dire?
Not as of yet.
Will there be?
If the artist will draw one, there could be, yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your main bad guy in Dire so far? Or what's your main antagonist?
There's several.
Yeah.
It's going to be... You're familiar with WoW. You played WoW, World of Warcraft, right?
World of Warcraft.
There will be many different bosses, raid bosses, that kind of thing.
Okay.
No one overruling evil supreme asshole that you have to go kill.
But in WoW, each expansion has its own top boss.
Yeah.
Correct. And there will be, as we develop more of the lore and story.
Ah.
Yes.
I like that.
Oh.
All right, now. That was my Herbert. You really like my Herbert?
No, it was awful.
Okay.
You should kill yourself now.
By exploding.
Should my hard drive die or should I explode?
Both.
But okay. So, Jareth, I understand that so far of the four of us that are sitting in this room, you're the only one amongst us that have actually played both Skyrim and Dragon Age Inquisition.
It's probably just a safe bet to assume that I'm the only one who's played most of the games.
Most of what games?
All of the games.
Not all of them.
All of them.
I've played several games.
I highly doubt that.
Okay.
Burned.
Very well then.
All right, Hermit. Go ahead and give me a rundown. I read a thing the other day that said that Dragon Age Inquisition is a diluted version of Skyrim, and then I instantly found out that that's not in fact the case. And just like every other game out there, it is chocked full of side quests which are totally useless.
Yes. I'm kind of struggling with where to take that lead, but okay, I'll figure something out. It's not anything at all like Skyrim.
Okay.
For one, there's more attention to detail.
Okay.
I could just kill Skyrim. The internet will hate me, but
didn't 2 episodes during the Poltergeist episode you told everyone that the internet already hates you?
Yeah, I know.
So no biggie.
And then the whole Marvel thing was last episode.
Then he wonders why his hard drive explodes.
Yeah, it's the internet.
It's the internet. The internets are attacking you.
Interwebs.
Dragon Age Inquisition actually has a very limited amount to actually do with dragons.
Okay.
There are dragons in it.
Right.
The world features dragons.
Okay.
The antagonist has a dragon.
Okay.
Thing. It's not really, I don't know, it's like a weird extension of him, but it looks like a dragon.
So it's like Master Blaster, but it's a real blaster?
More or less. It's a good game. Has some significant flaws, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the dragons. So
yeah. Okay, so they call it Dragon Age Inquisition, but why would you go with that and then not have it be like one of your main?
Well, Dragon Age is the name of the series for one.
Right. I've been familiar with it for a number of years now. It's just I haven't played the new one.
None of the three really focus at all on dragons. They focus. The reason they're called Dragon Age is because
it's the time frame they're in. For that world,
they're in
like the year of the dragon,
basically. Except the age is sort of
Dark Age, Dragon Age.
This amorphous series of years based around a set of things.
I'm holding out for Penguin Age Inquisition.
Penguin Age
Yeah.
Inquisition?
I hear it's going to be great.
The year of the penguin. Not that penguin.
Oh, sorry, it's the first thing that came to mind.
Well, that's the DC episode. We aren't on that one. So, okay. So, all right. Well, then let's drop that ball for a moment. Who all here's all caught up on Game of Thrones?
I am.
I'm all caught up on the books. You can all stuff it.
Well, this season is diverging horribly from the books, I hear.
They were already working on that.
Yeah. So
I've never read the books.
We've finally reached the point where things are becoming different.
It's actually one of the few
kind of.
from some of the people I've talked to that have both seen it and read the book said that this is one of the few times where the movie is better than the book because it doesn't get caught up in a whole lot of minutia.
That's what I hear too.
That the books gets drugged down by.
So I'm bringing that up because
I like the minutia.
As I'm sure we all know.
My favorite black lady.
As I'm sure we all know.
We're not talking about anything with a little finger.
That we have the mother of dragons to discuss.
True.
And her 3 babies, which aren't really her babies.
One of which left.
One of which, at this point in time, has left for in the TV series.
He comes back.
Yeah,
I would hope.
In the books, they might not do that in the show.
They have to.
Not necessarily.
There's only 3 dragons, and the dragon's got to have 3 heads. They're not going to skip that entire section of the prophecy.
3 heads, huh?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
We don't declare that on this show.
Spoiler.
Oh yeah,
we don't have to do that. That's not a thing. Go ahead.
That was it. That was all I had to say.
That's it? That's all you're doing? You're just going to say that there's a prophecy, 3 heads, and there has to be...
I'm sure they brought it up in the show at this point.
Nope.
Not really.
If the dragon... Oh, God. Okay.
No, do it. Do it.
All right, so there's like 5 prophecies happening throughout the whole thing.
They haven't addressed any of them.
They've mentioned them.
They mentioned the mother of dragons.
Yes, okay, so I'll give you that.
I think that's what the whole show is based around, is her.
But
they've also mentioned Azor Ahai, I'm sure, because what's-her-fuck's around.
They don't really call it a prophecy, though. It's like, I mean, the people are introduced, hey, this is so-and-so. It doesn't say, it's the mother of dragons. You know, the mother of dragon prophecy? The one and the same?
You're the mother of dragons from the prophecy, right? No, I'm the one from Cincinnati.
Yeah,
there you go. That one.
They don't spoon feed that information to you. They don't.
Some of us need that.
In the books, there's a couple of prophecies happening. Azor Ahai is one. That's probably been mentioned by Melisandre at some point. You know, crazy
the
red priestess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who bangs it out with Stannis on a world map. They banged all over the world.
Quite literally.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And she just wants to kill, everyone.
She's
apparently
actually
so do the offspring.
Well, everybody in that book is at least kind of malevolent, even if they're benevolent.
Okay.
It's dark fantasy. Get ready for everyone to be kind of evil.
Kind of
benevolent in their malevolency.
Yeah.
You're all kind of dicks, is what you're saying.
Yeah, everyone's at least a little bit of a dick.
Right.
So it's
the
based
people
in
who aren't dicks at all
die.
Are the ones that get killed.
They die, yeah.
Yeah, because the better you are, the less of a lifespan you have in a dark fantasy novel.
Speaks a lot about Mark, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
It's based on
history. It's based on his life.
Not his life, but other lives.
It's based on his life and his food addiction.
The better you are, the quicker I shall eat you.
Continue.
Yeah. So there's the dragon has 3 heads. Isn't so much of a prophecy. It's a kind of a dodge they keep throwing out. It's referencing back to old Valyria and stuff like that. Like whenever they first came over to Westeros, the Valyrians, there was the dude and his 2 sisters. Right? There's 3 dragons. They each had one. They fucked Westeros up and took over.
And they fucked each other.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
My bloodline is pure.
The Targaryens were way into having sex with each other. How do you keep that hair color in the family?
True. Good point.
And that's something they keep bringing up. So there's a lot of theories about how that's going to come back in and who the other 2 heads of the dragon will be. Because, as we know, there are 3 dragons right now. Mm-hmm. She can't ride all 3 of them at once, right?
Well, that's true.
She'd need to spread her legs a lot wider in order to manage that.
Which she won't do because after season 2, she signed a no nudity contract.
Really?
Yeah.
That's boring.
No shit. That's why she hasn't been naked since season 2.
Boring.
Really? Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
There. You tell me about it.
Well, I guess now she's got the sway that she can do that.
Man,
I suppose.
Like, kill her off.
Give me a bottle of bleach, I'll find you somebody else that can be Mother of Dragons. That'll take her clothes off.
Listen here, I am the Mother of Dragons. I do not do that anymore.
Can we go make Roper
the
Mother of Dragons?
We can. He doesn't have much hair to bleach, though.
Yeah, no one's going to watch that. But.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I bet you would. And by God, I'd ride all the dragons.
All at once.
All at once. I'd spread my legs that wide. Everyone.
To be clear, he wouldn't be flying on the dragons.
Why is everyone suddenly look disgusted with me? That's it. That's it. Listen, we're supposed to keep the talking going. You all keep dropping the mic when I say stuff like this. Why is that?
I'm just letting you hang yourself.
We want to see how far you'll take it.
Oh, well, until someone takes this shovel from me, I'm going to continue to dig this hole.
Okay. I thought it was a backhoe at this point.
Yeah.
Well, so there's been a lot of.
Ooh, wait. Has Jon Snow died yet?
No.
Yeah, spoilers.
No, you can't call spoilers, and he doesn't die. There's speculation that he survives the attack.
Well, there's speculation that he survives the attack in the book, too, but that's where it fucking ends.
For that book. Until he writes something else.
Yeah, well,
that brings
keep
him
on
back.
waiting.
And
Melisandre as a red priestess, they have had a history of bringing people back already.
Yeah, that one dude that got like lopped in two, and suddenly that wasn't a thing anymore.
The blur.
What's his face? That has the eye patch that was down in the cave.
The one that fought the Hound.
They started that story arc and then immediately like let it die off on the tail end. Is one of those things
that actually is pretty much how the book does it too.
Which is why
he had an idea and then he saw a squirrel.
Yeah, shiny balls.
Well, it's because you only encounter that character for a little bit.
But you can carry on that concept into other characters.
The concept does get carried on into another character, and that's with what's her fucking name? The Stark mom, Zombie Stark mom.
Zombie Stark mom.
Really?
Catherine.
Yeah,
nice.
She takes his curse thing. That's why she is now Zombie Stark mom, and he's just gone, and they don't talk about him anymore.
Well, she's not Zombie Stark mom yet.
Well, she becomes Zombie
Stark mom.
Yeah.
She turns into a total bitch, too.
Good. I would be a total bitch if someone slit my throat at my son's wedding.
Well, yeah, I get it. I'm not saying I don't get it.
Be cranky about it at the very least.
A little perturbed.
I would have some things to say. So
frowny faces all around.
Yeah. And what do you have to lose at that point in time? You're a damn zombie.
Yeah, true.
I don't require brains, but you're all going to die for what happened. Just throwing that out there. So, obviously there's lots and lots and lots of speculation on the what ifs for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Have you... There's people's...
Yeah, he's been here for a while,
I know,
actually.
I saw him walk behind me. And then
that would be Deus Morty, one of our artists.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to Spellcast, you'll know him as my co-host from Spellcast.
Okay. Well, he's wandering around in the background over here. At least they didn't come through. Was that him that said hi last time?
Yeah.
Okay. Walked through and was like, what's up? That was, 2 episodes ago, and all of a sudden we were like, what the hell?
I was the only one who was aware that he was there because I was already looking that way.
So, like I said, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of things that we could do, but this isn't a Game of Thrones episode. No. That's not what we're discussing.
We're discussing dragons. You really pigeonholed us into a really narrow... I could talk about the history of dragons throughout mythology.
Let's do it. I don't care. Look here. Okay, so the thing is...
Which region?
They're all over the place. That's
they are.
Fantastic.
But they're all slightly different.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what the fascination was for me, because I was like, when we were... Way back when we were putting episodes together, we wanted to get as many pre-thought out episodes that we were going to be able to be doing. Okay, I mean, we did one for AIs, we've done one for time travel, we've done one for, and each one of these things seem like limited topics, but then whenever you look at like TV series and games and movies and things of that nature, it opened up quite a bit, actually. So I was like, well, dragons are fascinating, right?
Yeah.
We've had them in just countless movies and games, and it's they have purpose, right? Like you said, they're from all over the place. There's lots of different stories. So it's not this pigeonhole. It's actually quite a vast topic. The problem is we're looking at all of this stuff going, well, where the hell do we start? One of the movies that really stands out to me is for dragons is Reign of Fire, and you and I were talking about this.
Actually enjoyed
earlier.
That movie.
I did as well. Okay, because it's
hilarious when Matthew McConaughey gets eaten as he's flying across with the axe.
with a battle axe.
Like the main thing from the advertisements, and that's like 2 seconds long.
But it's
no, but that's funny. That's one of the great things about it.
It is like this climax point that you're waiting for, because you see it in the trailer and you're like, it's happening, and then all of a sudden it happens and he just straight up dies within seconds, and you're like, what the hell?
That was
don't jump at a dragon is the moral of that story.
Yeah. So, okay, I really like that movie because, especially with his character in that movie, he's like, these aren't magical creatures. These aren't anything mystical or whatever. He goes, they're monsters, and we just need to kill them. And I kind of like the concept that they did with them, where the females were a lot smaller, and there's like thousands of them, and there's just this one giant male. And
it's kind of the opposite of how everything else in nature goes.
Right. And it's just, it is an eater of worlds. It destroys everything and then goes into hibernation until it's woke up again. It's like this perfect machine. And it kind of made me wonder by taking what? No,
I don't know about perfect, but
no. Okay, so here's the thing. It operates off of total destruction. It destroys everything that's there, and then it goes into advanced hibernation until everything rebuilds itself, and then it comes back out and it does it again.
Rebuilds itself.
True. Because if it works too good, then there's nothing to come
Or
back.
if something else, like, in between hibernation, like, I don't know, a ginormous asteroid or whatever. So perfection is a bit overstated.
Well, that's that. Okay, so then
it's pretty good, though.
It is very good.
Keep moving.
All right,
Go.
I'll backpedal. Well, we're on a tangent. We're on a topic now. We're moving progressively along. You're trying to derail me.
I don't have to try.
Well, you can try real hard. So
dangle your keys.
Jingly, 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 jingly. So, with that particular dragon, they explain the mechanics of it quite well. They get into how it's got the different pouches within its
essentially
throat.
It's got napalm breath.
It goes in and really explains how this stuff is supposed to work. It gets into more of the anatomy of the dragons,
and yet they fail to satisfactorily describe how they fly.
That would be the ginormous wings that people would have seen.
Ginormous wings are helpful, but those things still look pretty dang heavy. Birds have big wings, and they also have, no bones.
They have hollow
bones.
They have
hollow bones, actually.
Yeah. They have no bone weight.
True.
Those definitely have bone weight, because you see them crashing into stuff all over the place, and they're just fine. And they're made out of scales. Plus, they're toting around, giant bags of napalm in their neck.
Yeah, naturally forming napalm. Now, they go into a lot of the anatomy of these creatures. They don't really address some of that. You're correct. I never even considered that.
Some of it they have to just be like, well,
it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Welcome to the wonderful world of make.
Perhaps part of the napalm chemical is a lighter than air substance.
So they just got balloons in their neck.
Yeah, maybe there's a helium pouch within them as well.
So it doesn't react.
They just
it's
float.
Gas, but that's all right.
It flaps its wings to steer itself around, and
they're actually flapping their wings to stay lower.
Yes,
so that they don't fly off forever.
Yeah, it looks like they're flapping down when in reality they're doing. They're flapping.
Humans
upward.
create. Some animals create methane.
Right.
When they eat. Dragons produce helium.
Right.
That's
hydrogen.
what they have.
Yeah, or hydrogen.
Hydrogen, much more flammable.
All of their farts are really
better.
Squeaky and high pitched.
That's why they. That's why they can't breathe fire and fart at the same time. They would just explode.
Kind of like a spark of genius and a brain fart.
Exactly. So
kind of like me after eating Mexican.
Exactly. Hey-o. Exactly. We're on a tangent. So. But then on in my mind on the complete other end of Rain of Fire, I'd put Dragonheart on the other end of that, where you've got this one it's talking and it's
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, and it's hello. So it's like I said, it's on the other end of it.
It's got the far more mystical.
They're
dragon.
talking. They're magic. It gives up part of itself to save this guy who turns out to be a freaking psychopath.
He has a dick.
Yeah. I think they just released a new Dragonheart. I was
looking that up.
Isn't there a third one that just came out?
Dragonheart 3, The Sorcerer's Curse.
Yeah, there's a third one.
After the first one.
When did that release? I'm wanting to say that was actually pretty recently.
It says 2015.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
What says anyway?
So there's that.
There's that. That's a new one, but I haven't actually watched that. I don't.
Did you watch the second one?
Did it come out in theaters, or did that go straight to DVD?
It's probably a straight to DVD.
I'm thinking they've all. Well, I mean, with the exception of the first one, the second one was.
Yeah.
And there was also a Dragonheart: A New Beginning in 2000.
Was that the number 2? Was that number 2?
I don't think so.
What was
that?
Might
have been.
So.
I don't know.
But
I saw the first one. That's it.
That's more, like you're saying, that's more in the realm of the mystical, magical dragon stuff. Whereas with Rain of Fire, it's kind of
they're animals.
It's in hibernation. It has a life cycle. It does this. This is how it reproduces. This is how it survives, and then it'll go back into dormancy. That's why we've had dragons in our history, yet they seem like they're these magical things that no one actually knows anything about because they were this species that hadn't been killed off completely, and the male had gone into hibernation already, and so they were killing off all these females. That's why you'd have these different variations and whatever. So it kind of gave this plausibility to it. But it also makes me wonder on something like that, because anytime you kill something and you take it out of the equation for the ecosystem, it messes with stuff, right?
Usually,
right?
Yeah.
So it changes things.
It definitely changes things. So it kind of makes me wonder, because even though this thing was dormant, doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't doing other things, right? Kind of makes me wonder if they've jacked something else up in their world, or if there's other larger male dragons that are still subterranean that haven't been woken up yet.
I think it's fair to say that their world's pretty well jacked up. Their ecosystem is wrecked right now.
Yeah.
Because by the end of that movie, everywhere is basically post-apocalyptic because the dragons just like burnt it all.
No, by the end of it, they're setting up towers and they're talking to people, and the guy's like, they're speaking French, and he's like, well, you're on the radio, and he's like, I don't speak French. Remember, because they're putting up the towers and they've got fields and they haven't seen dragons in like forever.
Yeah, it's still pretty jacked up though.
Yeah, you're right. It would be post-apocalyptic, but it's.
I was actually expecting them to come out with a sequel where it was more like the Asian style dragon, and introduce that into it as well. Yeah, because all of that was like all of that movie was the European based version of it.
All of them. I was about to say all of them. It takes place in
England,
European region. So and of course the overall body style of the dragons is more European in feel. I mean, you look at art and things like that.
Later European, yes.
Yeah, you look at medieval style artwork that have depictions of dragons, things of that nature. It's more that style than what like a Chinese dragon would be.
More serpenty.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the word that we have for dragon comes from a Greek word that means like giant serpent or giant fish.
Well, there you go.
It's like drakon.
Like that. Most of our words come from older Greek words.
Most of them.
In English,
Latin.
Yeah, a lot of them. But
it's a Germanic language.
We have an incredibly bastardized language we pick from all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them come from Greek.
That topic right there could take me down the rabbit hole of idiocracy, but it has nothing to do with dragons, so we're not going to touch it. Just saying. You look confused, Jareth. Have you seen Idiocracy?
No, we talked about this last time after the show.
You need to be.
We always talk about Idiocracy.
You need to be kicked in the pants.
You still
let me
haven't
take them
watched
off first, and then you can kick them.
I've actually got a copy of that if you need to watch it.
I have a
I'll
copy of
watch it
that if
someday.
I need to watch it. It is wonderfully hysterical.
Anyway, dragons.
Back on point.
Where's the turtles thing? Come on.
Yeah, we're off point again. So the thing is
I missed the chance.
I was about to say it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him reaching, and then it just didn't happen. So great anticipation in it.
Yeah.
So there is another TV series that's actually out right now, Grimm.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I've been watching. My wife likes it. It's not bad. I like parts of it.
I think my sister watches it, but I don't watch it.
It's not.
We
so
share
bad.
a Netflix queue, so I've seen it.
Yeah. There are people.
Didn't hold my attention. I said it couldn't hold my attention. Like I tried to watch, I was like,
Nope.
Yeah, like I said, I've been watching it. My wife likes it. It's as close to my world of TV series that she'll overlap.
You just like it
with me.
because you like the Brothers Grimm.
I do like Brothers Grimm. I do actually. The movie is it what the movie called? Wasn't that called Grimm?
No, it's Brothers Grimm.
Brothers Grimm, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I like that movie. It was pretty good, too. I like any adaptation of stories like that. To a degree. I should say I like any adaptation of it because you can get off on the tangent of the Disneyfied, which we were discussing a moment ago, of how old school Grimm fairy tales and things of that nature have been changed into these really
dramatically different
soft versions of themselves where the good guy always comes out on top, which is nowhere how it used to be for the old school Grimm fairy tales.
Well, the old school Grimm fairy tales frequently didn't even have a good guy.
Right. Well, it was normally
the bad guy paid the price. Like there would be a good overall message, but it was
it was more scare tactics than anything because it was,
don't go in that forest.
Don't go in the forest. There's a monster out there that will eat you. Oh, you're a bad little kid. Oh, the witch is going to come and devour you in the night. It's don't do.
There's
X.
a good lesson to that.
There's don't do X.
Bad things.
Don't do X. This won't happen. And everything. Have you seen the movie The Croods?
Of course.
Okay, the very beginning of the movie, The Croods, the dad that's in this thing is drawing stuff up on the cave walls, and he's like, the person found something new and died. Or they did something new and died. Or they got curious and they did something and they died. Everything ended up with people dying. And he's like, don't do anything new. Follow all the rules and you'll survive, right? That's what Grimm fairy tales were back in the day. All of them were like, here's all of the horrible things in the world. Here's all the magic and evil and everything that we don't understand, and it's hooey magic, right?
Krampus.
And if you do anything with any of this stuff, you go outside of any of our rules, and you will die. And so part of that became this really fantastical story, and Grimm fairy tales kind of spawned from that. Well, adaptations of it on down the line, whether it be the movies Brothers Grimm or the TV series Grimm, I'm okay with those. Now, like I said, the Disney stuff, it serves its purpose for your children,
right?
But
don't let them watch it after like 10.
Yeah, well, and
12 maybe,
and really don't put the message of the Disney stories under a microscope. Because as we just learned a moment ago, most of them are just garbage.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun for kids, but in reality, the message is actually quite poor.
They have catchy songs.
No one ever falls in love that fast.
And for those reasons, are just horrible.
Not without enough cash.
That's not love. That's just sex.
Dope.
So,
fine line.
Yeah.
Cash dope, you know.
Yeah, it makes you feel, whatever makes you feel good. Just close your eyes, whatever makes you feel good. So, but with the TV series Grimm, there are these people that are in the world that can.
Quick question: does that have dragons in it?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
That's where he's going with this.
I was like, where's he going here? Because I don't remember a Grimm fairy tale with a dragon.
I kind of keep going on that path, and it kind of keeps diverging back to They have so there are these guys. They're Grimms. They're identified as Grimms. They are people who can see other individuals for what they truly are, and they're called
scary.
They're called these other people they're called Vessen, and the Vessen they are more. They're not human. Okay,
they just look human to everyone else.
They look human to everyone else. Grimms, those that have this ability to see past this. Do what?
What's one where they go? I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, whatever.
Everybody's those weird, freaky things.
He can see. They all look like humans, unless you've got the glasses.
Yeah.
Does Grimm have glasses?
He does not need glasses. He just sees. That's just how
contacts?
He is. No contacts. As a matter of fact, they actually discuss that if he wears sunglasses, the Vessen aren't able to perceive him as a Grimm. So he can wear sunglasses and be dealing with them, and they change when they're under extreme emotion or whatever. They spontaneously change, and they reveal what they really are, and he can see it. Well, if he's wearing sunglasses, they can't tell that he sees it, because when they're just looking at each other normally, where they're just talking to him and they're not under extreme conditions.
Your eyes are the windows. So
kinda. So they'll be looking at him, and he'll be speaking with them because he's a detective, and so he's talking to them. And as long as they're calm, cool, collect, and he doesn't put them a lot of pressure on them, and they don't start to freak out, they can't tell. But the instant they change, they suddenly look at him and they're like, "Oh God, it's a Grimm!" Because in Vessen fairy tales, all the Grimms are the bad guys, because the Grimms are the one that come around and behead all these monsters. Okay, so for us, for humans, the fairy tales is these monsters that are out there, these trolls, these dragons, these wolves, because one of them is
the big bad wolf.
The big bad wolf. As a matter of fact, his good friend Monroe that's in this series is one of the he's called a Blutbad, and he's a wolf. Okay, so he is a werewolf basically, but. on human side, they're like, there's these monsters out there that will find you, eat you, and kill you. And on the Vesson side, they're going, there's Grimms out there that will behead you and chop you into little pieces. And so the Grimms in their culture are the be good, follow the rules. And in our culture, they're the be good, don't and follow the rules. And so there's this checks and balance type thing. Well, one of the episodes they get to is this creature called a Daemonfeuer, which is what we call this episode, Reign of the Daemonfeuer. So it's one part Reign of Fire, and then Daemonfeuer, which is the dragon name in this, which he's in the episode they have him in. He's a guy, Oriental dude. He has dragon tattoos. He's in a carnival, and he's a fire breather. So they kind of cross over some stuff there, right? But then whenever he actually goes through his change, he looks like a dragon. He's got fangs. He's got horns that come off of him, and he can just naturally breathe fire. They never ever have crossed back to them. A lot of the times they're just perpetually moving forward, and they just kind of show other ones that have been in before. They have.
It's probably just like a case of the week sort of thing. So
yeah, kind of. Where he's constantly crossing paths with new type of Vesson, but he's dealt with some before, and so you'll have some overlap where he's running into a lot of the same ones over and over.
Because TV executives believe that nobody has any kind of attention span. So
by and large, it probably proves right for the majority of the population.
But they never have done an episode exclusively for the dragon species. We've met them, and they've been involved in stuff, and he's seen them. But to that I recall, they haven't actually done an episode where that's who they were focusing on. But they did cross that bridge, and I kind of find that fascinating because the way that show works is it allows for the existence of the Grimm fairy tales to be a real thing, but not to be perceived as a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have actual trolls out there, but you do. They're actually people, and they're uncontrolled rage and all this good stuff. And
I've met a few of them.
We have both met a few of them. We three have met a few of them. Mm-hmm. Jareth, you probably delivered some pizzas to a few of them.
I work north side.
So
north side
represent. So, like I said, I that's why I'm okay with the series, is because it allows for the possibility to have both of those worlds kind of coexisting at the same time, where it's just how it really is. It's this structured thing where they're not these magical, mystical, supernatural things that occur.
Right.
Thoughts?
What?
So you really don't have an attention span, do you?
No, I'm very easy. I'm listening. I like to have something to do with my hands.
This is what he does the whole time.
That's why I'm like the whole time I'm like doing this.
Yeah, he'll either cross his fingers or play with something over there on the little desk next to him, up until the point in time I shoot him with a rubber band, which I didn't bring a rubber band, so I can't do that.
Oh,
I can have my mind focusing on the conversation, and then my hands got to do something too.
We should go through and see who everybody's favorite dragon is.
Yeah. Okay. So
various medium.
That's not actually not a bad idea, and a decent direction to go here. Well, Rob, you started with the idea, so I'll start with you. Just pick your form: TV show, movie, game. Whatever.
It's going to be a game.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Deathwing from WoW, just because that was the coolest dragon for me back in the day, because I was really into WoW at the time when that expansion came out. And Deathwing was just a big badass and changed the whole face of WoW.
Yeah. In
the story.
Yeah.
That was air quotes I was doing in front of the microphone.
It was also just a good cop-out for them to finally revamp everything.
That is true. So it served multiple purposes. It was a perfect engine of chaos, right? And then what you just said.
Something like that.
I just like that whole story of the corrupted dragon. If you read any of the backstory of World of Warcraft lore, a corrupted dragon that thought the only way to save the world was to destroy the world.
More than that, he was also an elemental lord, wasn't he, or something like that?
Surprisingly,
a big deal.
Surprisingly, that is quite common for a lot of bad guys. They're like, you know what? The only way to save all you monsters is just to kill all you monsters.
Pretty much, yeah. And the whole having to hold his entire form together from his inner hate exploding is to bash in armor plates to kind of bond his body together. Thought that was just a cool story. My favorite dragon.
Okay, all right. Jareth, where do you stand on your top selections?
I don't know. That one's a hard one, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. I've encountered a lot of dragons in a lot of different media, so I'm not sure. I'll pass for now.
You'll pass for now?
Yeah.
We'll come back to you. Justin?
It's kind of the same thing as him. Is I have a hard time picking out one specific dragon.
Yeah,
it's probably not something you think about too often. Is it?
not really. And like I'm sitting here thinking, it's like all the books that I've read that have had dragons, I've never really nothing's really stuck with me as that is just so awesome. I mean, honestly, probably the best adaptation, just because it was slightly different from all the rest of them always being some weird magical thing, as it's a more legit thing. I liked Rain of Fire, just because they did try to legitimize it and after a fashion, and that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I had to pick one, it would probably be like Fin Fang Foom, just because it's a Marvel character, and that's really the only one that I know of. Is like that's one.
The space dragon.
He's a Mokluan. Don't be rude.
He's a space dragon. You shut your dirty mouth.
Shut your hole, Wang Chung.
So, okay.
Burn.
Burn. I can get behind that. All right. So, I can, off the top of my head, I can actually select two that I can qualify as my favorites.
The Sean Connery dragon?
No. No. Toothless.
Oh, yeah.
Toothless is pretty cool.
I gotta say, Toothless is pretty good.
He's like a cat that is a dragon.
Exactly.
Well, don't say that. I don't like cats.
Well, he acts like a cat throughout.
He does.
Yeah, you're right.
He's like
I hadn't thought about that, but you're right.
He's a big black lizard cat that shoots these awesome purple blue balls of energy.
He's completely adorable.
And stupid as shit sometimes, just saying. But I really, okay, so the How to Train Your Dragons, was that a Pixar movie?
There's like two of them.
Was that a picture?
Yeah, it's Pixar.
There's two of them, and they're actually really good.
Yeah.
See, there's that noise again.
What is that?
That's the doorbell to the office.
That's that.
Alarm!
Are we dead?
Apparently, this is going to be a new facet on the. Yeah. About mid-episode, we're going to be like, "Oh, the alarm's going off."
So that's the 20-minute warning.
Is it okay? So, like I said, I really like the How to Train Your Dragon series. Kind of touches on Viking stuff, but then it's like not.
I'd forgotten about that.
It's not really our world. They have the different style of dragons. They have the ones with the double heads. One brings the toxic, and
the other one ignites it.
The other one ignites it. Then they had the one that shoots the spikes from its tail. Then you had the big hefty one that's basically a bulldozer.
They have a very interesting take on the dragons.
Yeah, they kind of went off in a really a different direction. The only one that they kind of held true to, like what we know, is the big red ones that has the horns.
Yeah.
The one that lights itself on fire to come attack you. It's like, oh, you want to see me do something crazy? Because let me ask you something. You ever been fighting a person and you're like, I could take this guy, and then he does something like jam a knife through his hand, and you're like, never mind, you're insane.
Yup. Yes, I've been in that scenario, but that's when you're like, okay, this problem is...
Yeah. So when you're squaring off against a dragon, you're like, okay, chances are slim, but we're well fought, right?
Then you realize it's a crazy dragon.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, and it lights itself on fire and then starts at you. You're like, we're doomed. We're doomed.
I'm not crazy enough for this.
Yeah, so Toothless, like I said, Toothless has to be my top selection. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and nail Toothless down as mine as well. Yeah. He's cool.
Really,
once you brought him up.
Like I said, that's... and then for a video game, Final Fantasy. Final Famine. You're gonna die.
Is that like the B-rated version?
Yeah,
I think just the one where they're all hungry.
Yeah. Well, this is the one that's the one
the
that
most apocalyptic version.
No, it's the one that they released in Mexico. Okay, so we had the one in China and overseas, and then we had the one here, and then they had the.
If it's famine, shouldn't it be somewhere in, like, I don't know, Africa?
Sure, why not?
Rude.
whatever. It works. So okay, but the king, the Dragon King Bahamut from that series has always been like one of the best.
Oh yeah, but he's actually like technically like 14 different dragons because he's never the same one. He's not necessarily in all of them. And
well, that's true, but at the
plus,
same time,
Bahamut is a mythological figure already. So is Tiamat.
Yeah.
Actually, Tiamat's a pretty cool dragon.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the sky. So
yeah, but Bahamut is of them my favorite from that series because he's
Muhammad.
No,
right.
He is pretty much always one of the most badass things.
Yeah. I mean, you get one of the he becomes one of the summon things that you can do in a lot of them. Same with Odin. Odin was one of them, and I think it was 7 or 9.
7 of 9.
Odin is in a couple
7 or 9
actually.
Yeah, he's Odin becomes one of the summons that you can do.
Because Odin's also an 8.
Yeah, he is. But between Odin and Bahamut was always my favorite summon to do.
I believe Odin's
all.
also in 6.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things that got added in. He's a lawful neutral in D&D. Bahamut, lawful neutral. Is that it?
Probably.
I can look it up.
I'm going to Google that real quick here because he's.
I don't play D&D because I'm not lame. I play GURPS because I'm awesome.
You play what?
GURPS.
What's GURPS?
A better one.
Lawful good.
Lawful good.
Lame. Only lamos are lawful good.
I typically was neutral evil whenever I play.
I can see
and in
that.
real life.
Here,
That adds up.
so similar.
No.
I always like chaotic good.
Chaotic good was almost worse than evil stuff. Like, no, really. If you played an actual chaotic good character, you were an actual psychopath.
The Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker.
Deadpool.
Would you call that chaotic good?
Yeah.
No.
Deadpool, maybe?
It depends on how much you put stock into his philosophies there.
Yeah.
Because his philosophies weren't like, I'm going to make things better for everybody. His were, I'm going to show people how much they suck and how much everybody sucks. So he's kind of closer to chaotic evil.
I would agree with that.
But a lot of bad guys could be chaotic good if they weren't so strict.
Yes.
Because
Punisher?
Punisher would probably be chaotic good.
I'd say. Because he's more along the lines of you've broken some type of law and you.
I'm going to destroy
but is it
evil,
really
and I'm going to do it no matter what the rules say.
Yes, that's more on par with that alignment, but doesn't matter. So Bahamut for D&D, referred to as you get the listing right there in front of you. It's the Platinum Dragon.
Platinum Dragon, King of the Good Dragons, Lord of the North Wind, Worm King.
Worm King, yeah.
W-Y-R-M?
Yes, W-Y. D&D had a couple of movies that came out, actually, which were kind of atrocious. Some of them were good.
Some of them had good parts.
Yeah, some of them had good parts.
Good parts, not good movies, good parts.
Yeah. Well, you could say good parts for a lot of different movies, but they didn't cover their dragons well.
There was that one that had a dragon in it.
Well, there was one that
focused on it.
It was like an entire war, and there were like hundreds of dragons all over the place.
I don't remember that one.
You got it? Okay. They went through and they identified each of their classes. They ended up by the end of the movie, they had like gold dragons flying around and red dragons flying around. Everybody had dragons, and they're all of different colors, and they all had different stuff. Because in D&D, each of your dragons have different type of attacks.
Yeah.
Like your black
your
ones
breath
were
attacks.
acid. Red ones were standard fire. Green ones were,
I think it was
poison gas. But I think this divergence that you start getting into between all of them really not only says something about the culture in which they were supposed to come from. So European dragons having the certain feel and look to them and whatnot, and you get the Oriental style dragons and whatnot. Each of them kind of have their own take on how these things are supposed to look and what they do and how they behave, and that gets translated over into movies and shows, and it kind of becomes this. It's unique for all of them.
One thing, somewhat of a side note, you were talking about Platinum Dragons, made me think of it. There was a show that I don't know how much of it was actual fact, but they were trying to factually explain how dragons could possibly exist. And Patrick Stewart ended up doing the narration for it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, right. Captain Picard. Now but in it they talked about, like, for them to have breathed fire, they would have to have actually had a diet of platinum.
Really?
For the dragons to have done, or for them to breathe fire, however they came up with, which I always thought was kind of interesting. Like,
Darren, it looks like you've located what I was referring to.
I think it was called Dungeons and Dragons: Wrath of the Dragon God.
I think he's correct.
I think that one just had like one dragon.
The only other one is Dungeons and Dragons: The Book of Vile Darkness.
It might be that one, because I think Wrath of the Dragon God just has one dragon. It starts waking up, they go fight a sorcerer or something, and it's stupid. It's really stupid.
Well, you did say Dungeons and Dragons movie, so...
Book of Vile Darkness doesn't say much about dragons. Talks more about a kind of a dick wizard.
Yeah, it's a dick wizard who's waking up the dragon god or something like that.
It's this one. It's this one right here. Dungeons and Dragons. It's the one that's got...
Oh, that was the first one.
Yeah, it's the one that has the goofy-looking barbarian guy.
With the guy from In Living Color.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that one.
One of the Wayans brothers?
That one.
Yeah. Marlon Wayans.
I think he was supposed to be a thief.
He was.
Yep.
He was a shitty rogue.
Very, very... He disgraces my class.
He disgraced the whole game. The whole genre. I think he crit wand on everything he tried to do.
It needs to be on a shirt. You crit one.
Yeah.
Always.
Show me your crits.
Show me your crits.
Crits or GTFO?
Yeah.
You have no idea what he just said, does
Nope.
he?
I'm gonna go. What is it? Teespring, where you can make your own shirt, and I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Show me your crits."
Show me your crits.
And just have like 2 D20s
Yeah.
set on 20s?
Yeah.
Do
I
it.
think it's a great idea.
Wish I could make cricket noises right now.
You have he's got cricket noises on a button. You could ask for it.
I bet Josh could turn that into a Kickstarter campaign. Throw it on his thing to buy a new studio. And
My God, we should totally design this, and I could put it on a website.
Yeah.
I'm sure those shirts exist.
We
They've
would.
gotta.
It's
happened online
You're gonna make us Google it again.
No, don't. We've got a topic, guys.
Googling
Come on.
now. He's Googling. How much? Where are we at on time anyway?
10 minutes.
We've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yep.
How have we burned an hour?
Because you
already?
talked about that one show for like 45 minutes.
What? It's a good. It really is. It's actually a pretty decent show.
You talked about Grimm and not a word about dragons until the very end of it for like.
Well,
3 seconds.
I tried.
He was trying to build up the story, give you the backstory.
Because I cared.
I'm getting you that.
I could tell.
Well, shut up. Like you've contributed.
Meh.
Waiting for you to shut
Making
your
little
mouth.
pot shots.
Let's see here. How do I start with Dragon Age Inquisition?
You're the one who nailed down Dragon Age Inquisition for the Dragon episode. Kind of a weird one. I could talk about Skyrim, but
Go for
then
it.
I'd ultimately be
Go
ending
for
up
it.
talking about how much Skyrim sucks dick.
Go for it. Go for it. Do it.
Okay, Skyrim at least is focused around dragons.
Okay.
They're the big problem.
Okay.
Dragons came back. We thought they were gone. Dragons don't actually just regularly breathe fire, but they control the power of the voice, which means they know like the one language of power.
So they talk.
Yeah, so anytime you see a dragon fighting another dragon and they're
Sean
breathing
Connery
fire
did?
at each other, they're actually having a discussion.
Okay.
And they taught that to some dragons taught that to humans later because the dragons used to rule over humans. One of them, the big one, he's a dick. His name's Alduin, and he's the son of the dragon god Akatosh. I don't know. He's just a total dick. But
The whole thing sounds really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, when you put it like that,
I kind of wanted to play the game back when I saw the trailer, but now I'm like, well, that's a really stupid ass story.
if you want to play an Elder Scrolls game, play Morrowind.
I beat it. I played Morrowind,
Thank
so
you. And it's amazing, isn't it?
good story. Yeah. I don't know about fire talk. That just sounds like bullshit.
The main
I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is bullshit.
So
That's like if humans communicated by peeing on each other.
Some people, and you know this, some people do communicate by peeing on each other.
True.
So the main character in the story is the Dragonborn. There have been other Dragonborns throughout history. It's just a person with the soul of a dragon.
Game of Thrones?
No. The Dragonborn
Mother of Dragons
has the soul of a dragon
Wait a
and
minute.
can learn the voice. Humans can learn the power of the voice through like lots of study, but the
Is
Dragonborn...
Christina Aguilera on that one?
Yeah,
The voice?
totally.
No.
No. Wow. Apparently you can't kill a dragon normally.
Okay.
So if I go out and I stab a dragon to death, it'll like just die and lay there for like a forever, but it's not dead. You have to eat its soul, and only another dragon or somebody with the soul of a dragon can eat its soul. So you have to be the Dragonborn to kill all the dragons, so that whenever you kill a dragon, you eat its soul thing, and you learn its magical power word, so that you can then go to Sovngarde.
You seem frustrated.
Yeah, I'm super frustrated. The game was just...
He's frustrated by the stupidity of the story.
I love the Elder Scrolls.
Right.
Morrowind changed my outlook on video games.
Okay.
Oblivion was still great. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily as good as Morrowind, but it's still good. And then Skyrim was just a big steaming pile. It's like open world.
Hey, nerd, give me your money while I stick my in your...
Look how beautiful this game is. Not that great looking. And it had about as much content as a store full of cardboard cutouts. Yeah, there's only like 5 voice actors in the whole game.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Sometimes I just want to die when I think of that game. And don't get me wrong, though. I have clocked over 400 hours in that game. I've experienced everything.
It's horrible. I played it for 400 hours. I should know. That's how I know it sucks. I played it forever.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, I've played some atrocious games before, but it's
gonna
like
happen.
It's like a train wreck that you're like, I got to muster my way through it, and you make your way through it, and by the time you're done with it, and you're like, I'm done with it. I'll never go back to it again, and it was horrible.
Well, it took me a little while before I really realized what was happening. Because, at first you're just caught up.
Like you. And I took an arrow
Oh,
in the knee.
God. One of my favorite mods out there for the PC version was anytime a guard would say that, they got struck by lightning.
It's an awesome mod.
Do you know how many guards were left by the end of it?
None.
They all say it. All the time.
That's what you get when there's one voice actor for an entire PC, NPC race or type
really
or
should have
class.
been way more voice actors. Like, a couple of people got their own voice actor.
Or don't use actual voiced scripts.
Yeah.
Just make noises. It's hard to differentiate.
Morrowind just read.
Yeah, true.
And I was good with that.
Yeah.
They had good writers for it.
Yeah.
But so it took a while of me playing it before I really started honing in on what was the problem. Because I was like, things would annoy me, but at first I was just like, okay, I'm having fun. I'm playing an Elder Scrolls game, whatever. But then you kind of start to realize once you hear the same guy talk for the 900th time on the whole other side of the world, and you're running into the same problem over and over, and you're like, oh, this doesn't get better.
I think that's the same issue people were having with Assassin's Creed.
All your days are belong to us.
My soundboard's going crazy now.
I think that's the same issue people were having with the first Assassin's Creed game because you ran through the first 10 encounters and the little submissions for it, and then all of the other ones were exactly the same throughout the entire game. And
so
why
you get bored with the game.
You get bored with the game
on.
really, really quickly. That's why.
This is awesome. Oh wait.
That's why whenever they came out with the next one, they're like, "We've completely changed the mechanics in this." And you came back to it, and you're like, "All right, I'll give it another try." And you're like, "Okay, it's a little bit better." And each one they came out with, each subsequent one, ended up being a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better.
Black Flag. I did not mean to be entirely just horrible there.
Been watching Black Sails, have you?
Black Flag was actually really good.
It's
I played it
really
recently.
good. You actually got it after me and have beat it before me. It's because I can't clock as many hours on video games now.
I'm a hardcore gamer. It's just a fact.
Well, I also meticulously go through and do all side quests and collect all collectible items before I continue the main storyline. So right now I'm sitting at like 80-something%, but I have everything else. And so Mike was talking to me at one point in time. He's like, so basically the tail end of every video game you ever play, you're like, I own you. And I'm like, yeah, basically. Because I just wander around with all of the upgrades for everything. I don't progress everything along with it.
In that game, the upgrades were so unnecessary, though.
Not all of them.
Well, combat in that was just wait for them to attack you and then counter them.
Yeah, and then counter.
And you one hit kill them.
And it actually has an option. So it's counter and then you hit X and it automatically just kills them. So it's like counter, kill, counter, kill, counter, kill. One of them,
like buying new swords to do more damage.
Totally useless.
Attacking is never the good idea.
You just stand there and wait for them because it tells you it's going to attack and then it says counter and you just counter, kill. And you can walk away from everything. The only ones that doesn't work on was the big bruisers, the brutes and whatever. That doesn't work against them.
Like the game was good, I enjoyed it, but the combat was incredibly boring.
Yeah. I have the next one. It's actually sitting at the house. Rogue. I have yet to play it though. But I'm waiting for it.
Sounds like there needs to be an episode on gameplay.
There really does. I think that might be an upcoming. So
I could talk about that for days.
Oh yeah. So we're
gameplay versus story versus mechanics.
I think that might be a good episode. So we've actually at the beginning of this episode we came up with another idea for one, which I'm going to discuss with Josh. I really think that one's promising. Dire Monkey, I think that's a wonderful topic. And then with this gameplay option, I think we might do that one as well. That was also a good one. So we're on the very tail end of it here, and I'm going to close out with some stuff.
Is this your one
very
last
little
thing?
about dragons.
This is not my one last thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I typically try to pass the ball off to somebody else, and then they give them an opportunity to say something, and then I go, okay, last thing. That's how that typically works.
Just giving you, just poking the bear.
I know.
I poke badgers with spoons.
He does. I've seen him do it. He's a madman. So, as I mentioned, we're finishing up the card game. Our goal is to have it completed here pretty quick, and we're going to start joining D.A. Roberts at local conventions, hopefully throughout the area.
Hopefully, yep.
I know that he's also got some work done for you guys as well.
He's actually getting ready to publish book 1 of the Lost Fleet from the derived from the Infinite Black lore.
Do you know when that's actually hitting?
He hasn't given me a release date yet.
Okay.
He just told me he was very close.
I know. I wanted to touch base with you on that as well as the other option, the other stuff there.
Yeah, we need to get together and figure out, because I know I'm probably gonna have him on our show at some point after that releases.
I actually sent him. I was trying to get him on for tonight. I was going to do it as kind of a surprise, but he's back on overnight rotation right now, so I'm not able to reach him.
Yep.
I felt it would be kind of entertaining because I know that he actually met Mr. George
R. Martin, yeah,
Double R. Martin at one of the cons here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, our CEO of the company here got to go to what season are we on? Game of Thrones now? 4. That him and his wife went to the season 4 premiere.
Oh, wow.
In
That's cool.
Wherever it was, I want to say out west somewhere.
Yeah.
But the company itself has donated quite a bit of money to the Save the Wolves Foundation that George R. R. Martin is in charge of, or runs, or hosts, or steals money from, or whatever.
Whatever.
I think he uses the money to buy Twinkies or something. But
whatever, you know, whatever gets you back on track. Piping out books.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So make sure you guys get over, check our Facebook page out, like us on Facebook, add us on there, send us messages. You guys got ideas for episodes? Feel free to share them with us. We'll talk about just about anything. TV, movie, and game related, books as well. We enjoy all that good business. Be sure that check out our actual webpage where we got the calendar of events that are up. You'll see whenever the episodes are getting released and any of the conventions that we may be attending in upcoming months. Hopefully you can get yourself a copy of the card game once we've got it completed. We look forward. I'm waiting with bated breath for Dire. I want it to hit almost as hard as bad as you want it to.
Yeah, well, we are waiting also, and as soon as it hits, I can't wait to show it off because what I've seen here in the office looks bloody amazing.
So as soon as it hits, you realize that you're going to be my guest, right? And we're going to chat with you. If you get somebody else in here on with us, we'd do that as well.
I know there are some people here in the office that should have their time in the spotlight also because they've done the majority of the work.
Okay, because like I said, once it's a thing, right? And,
yep.
and we want that to we want to put that out there.
Absolutely.
Justin, I appreciate you being on with us this evening. This is the first time you've been on with us. I hope you're on again. I know that we discussed you being on in future episodes as well.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, not that we have the time for anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Next one.
Hit it up.
Yeah.
Hit it up on another episode. Jareth? Kaka?
No.
Just nah. Has the Skyrim conversation just wore you
destroyed your soul, didn't it?
Yeah. As the Skyrim falls.
All right. So last thing for me. See, I told you I'd do this. Everybody be safe. Have a good night. That's it.
Bye, Internet.
Gracias.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love turtles.